A lot of you have been telling me that you understand that it's possible to build a computer for cheap, but you don't just want your PC to feel like a gaming computer, you want it to look like a gaming computer as well. So I started to think, is it possible to build a gaming computer that has powerful performance on a budget and still have money left over to buy RGB lights and a really nice case without completely destroying your wallet? Well, last week on my stream, twitch.tv/ChristopherYee, I was researching cases that have all three of the popular trends: tempered glass, RGB lights, and the rising in popularity vertical GPU mount. I found one that I was really excited about that's actually not out yet, called the TALOS P1 by GAMDIAS. And after a few emails back and forth, they were actually nice enough to send one out on the condition that we use it before its official release date on November 16th. Now, before you run out of here and comment sell, let me learn you something real quick. You cannot find a case with RGB lights, a built-in vertical GPU mount, and real tempered glass on all panel sides cheaper than this case. I checked. And if you know me, you know that I don't f around with paying more money if I don't have to. This case is gonna retail for around $140, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to try and find the cheapest, most powerful parts that I can and factor in the cost of this case and see how cheap I can build this system for. And yes, in case you were wondering, I was sitting on the case. So I have spent the last 3 days, well, 15 hours over the course of the last 3 days, looking through Craigslist, OfferUp, Mercari, Letgo, Facebook Marketplace, every different subreddit that I'm subscribed to, and I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is that I did not find anything. I was trying to make deals for, any combination of 7 decently powerful part that would make a nice gaming system, and one of the 7 was willing to come halfway to the price I was offering. So I literally was able to come up with nothing. The good news is that something actually found me. And this is the first time that this has ever happened, which I guess is one of the cool things of YouTube, the channel getting a little bit bigger, is that a viewer of my videos actively sought me out. Through OfferUp, he was trying to sell his gaming computer for $1,000, and I didn't know about the ad. I didn't even come across the ad. It was so far down the page, which, I guess I should have seen. But he reached out to me through something else that I was selling for another video, and he said, yeah, I know you buy, sell, and flip computers. Can you buy my computer? And, his original asking price is $1,000. And I was just like, look, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. He's like, no. For you, I wouldn't do $1,000. I do $600. And I was really intrigued that he price dropped that much. It didn't really make sense to me. But then a little bit more into the conversation, he let me know he had his rent due. It's the end of the month. PC gaming wasn't for him, that narrative. So now we actually just have to meet up and buy the parts from this guy, which we're gonna go do right now. How's it going? I'll just plug it in quickly.
Okay. So I had my OS on the hard drive.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't know how it's gonna work.
So you're running the OS off the hard drive, not the solid state drive?
Well, I don't have the hard drive on me. I kept it just because somebody told me don't sell your hard drives because of the information can be recovered.
Okay. All right.
I hit the little switch. Yeah, that's where it's broken at.
Okay. Let's see.
I couldn't. It said that it would fit on PC Part Picker, but what I ended up doing was having to put the fans on top of it.
Yeah, the radiator. Okay.
Yeah. I only paid like $20 for the case, so
okay.
I don't really care to do it.
Push this thing on. So what it should do at the very least is take me to the BIOS.
Just to be honest with you, I did have the CPU like slightly overclocked to 4.2, not too crazy.
That's fine.
It's liquid cooled, so I figured it wasn't too bad to it.
I'm just gonna
I didn't know if you wanted me to like have any programs on it, to benchmark.
It's all good. I just need to see that the voltage isn't spiking all around. As if
Yeah,
your
and then
volts
I
are just
have
going
every
everywhere.
box with like all the parts and manual and stuff.
Radiator, cooling fan.
What are you checking for?
Just making sure, like, you know, like first thing I do when I'm checking out a computer is I smell first, because if I smell like fried components, then I know that something's been overheating for a little too long. I don't smell that, so it's good. Yeah, all right. Everything looks good here on my end. Count it, it should be 450.
Okay. And it's funny because like I watched you and somebody else, Brian's, or what is his name? Jay's 2 cents.
Jay's 2 cents.
Yeah, but thank you, man.
Yeah, no worries. All right, let me adjust the iPhone quality really quickly. If I'm going to go meet up with a stranger for the first time, I think the last thing I'd want to do is be holding my camera out right in front of my face, trying to make sure that I get the shot right, and then either offend, freak out the person that I'm dealing with, and worst case scenario, they pull out a gun and rip. So I'm sorry that you are probably not happy with the vertical iPhone footage, but unless you can think of a better way to do it, that's how I'm gonna be doing that footage from now on. Now that that's out of the way, let's go check out our purchase. Oh. Here is our project. As you can see, presentation-wise, this thing is pretty The cable management is some of the worst I've ever seen. At least there's no ketchup and mustard, so all black cables, which is nice. The acrylic glass here on the side is completely scratched up, covered in dirt on the inside. And lastly, as you can see, this case is kind of broken. So one of the stipulations of buying this whole setup that actually worked out really conveniently for us is that the case was broken. The reason he broke it off is because his 240 millimeter radiator fan setup actually does not fit in this case. As you can see here at the top, the fans are actually pushing together because he has rammed them in there. You can even see here at the back, to make even more space, he has literally ripped metal to make space for this radiator and the fans. Like, you could cut yourself on this if you were not careful. Like, this is sharp, jagged, basically just a cut finger waiting to happen. The good news is that we do have a really nice case that we're gonna throw all of these wonderful parts into, but what wonderful parts did we get? Well, inside this system, we have an 8700K processor inside a Z370 Pro gaming motherboard, a 240mm AIO by LEPA, an MSI 1050 Ti, a CX550M power supply by Corsair, an 8GB stick of DDR4 RAM clocked at 2666 MHz, and lastly, a Patriot Burst 240GB SSD. So now that we know everything that is in this computer, let's go into the official price breakdown. I'm gonna go through this a little quicker this time around, so make sure you pay attention. The Intel i7 8700K retails for $370 brand new. The LEPA 240mm AIO retails for $120 new. The MSI Z370-A Pro retails for $100 brand new. The 8GB DDR4 Ballistix stick of RAM clocked at 2666 MHz goes for $70 new. The MSI 1050 Ti goes for $150 new. The 240GB SSD goes for $37 new. And the CX550M Corsair power supply goes for $60 brand new. And those are just all the parts in this computer. Do not forget our TALOS P1, which will retail for $140 brand new. So if you add all of those prices up at retail price, this system would cost $1,047. The actual price that I paid, including the cost of the TALOS P1, is $590. All right, I get it! Now you might be saying, Chris, you said the guy dropped the computer to $600. You're Asian, why can't you do the math? Well, if you were paying attention in the video, I actually was able to negotiate him down to $450 on this setup. Now I know quite a few of you actually like to leave your opinions in the comments about why I am negotiating someone so much lower if they're already offering a decent price. And my response, as usual, is that this YouTube is a business. Like, I cannot afford to be spending more money if I can get it for cheaper. I mean, we're still in our infancy on this YouTube channel. So business philosophies aside, we have a very powerful set of computer parts here. I mean, one of the nicest processors you can get as a consumer right now. And now you get to watch a beautiful time lapse of us recreating this thing and making it look amazing. All right, we're gonna pause the time lapse really quickly just to, be real with you guys. I have never seen a case so poorly handled in all of my experience with buying used computers. I've never felt bad for an inanimate object before, and I can honestly say this is the first time I'm experiencing that. So I'm glad we can put that to an end. Let me get something clear here. GAMDIAS isn't paying me to review this case or use this in a video. I accepted it because I thought it looked nice, and it's even better than I thought it would be from the videos I saw for its promotion. The vertical GPU mount looks great. It was actually really easy to install, and one of the big pluses about having it built into your case is now you don't have to use one of those $30, $40 GPU mods where you have to actually cut up your case if you want to install that in an existing case that you already have, so you don't have to mess with any of that. And these LEDs from the top all the way to the side are diffused so well. If you don't know what that means, I'm saying that it looks really smooth and even lighting, whereas sometimes with other light strips, like in my H700i, my NZXT case, the lights, you can see each individual bulb and it's not as immersive as the aesthetic of this case. I mean, I'm in love with this thing, but that's enough talking. I mean, you guys saw a lot of what this case can do in the mini montage just now, but I'm gonna take this thing over, I'm gonna install Windows, and we'll start benchmarking this thing. so before we wrap up this video, we got a few things to address. Number one, I absolutely love the performance of this PC. Obviously, there is a little bit of hesitation and caution that you should take when you are buying used PC components, but from what I saw when I was inspecting it, it seemed to be a perfect fixer-upper project. Number two, GAMDIAS actually included their RGB power supply, which they did not say that they were going to do. I'm not going to factor in that price because we did still have a very nice working power supply, but since they have been nothing but nice to me and this channel, I really would like to reciprocate. So if you guys are in the market for PC enthusiast parts, please go check out their website. They are definitely a viable option, and if I ever have to buy anything for myself in the future, that's one of the first places I'm going to be looking. And one of the last few perspectives I want you guys to have is when you look at this build that we created today, I want you to compare it to what you would get from a larger brand such as Alienware, iBuyPower, or CyberPower PC. If you were to get something that looked as nice or performed as powerful, you would be paying probably around $1,200. And you would be getting parts that would actually die faster than the ones in this system. Now, I'm not trying to say the $600 we spent on this system was nothing, but just be sure the next time that you are looking for something like this, if you go buy it brand new from one of those retailers, you are essentially spending double your money for I can't even think of a good reason. So anyways, we set out to build a gaming computer that not only performs like one, but looks like one as well without breaking the bank. I think we were able to accomplish that goal, but I'd like to hear from you. What do you think could have been better, or where would you have saved money where I chose not to? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you found this entertaining or informative in any way, shape, or form. And if you understand the desktop wallpaper, stay strong, brothers.